Rule 1 investors learn from the greatest investors in the world, the gurus who have done this for a long period of time and have had tremendous success. These are the Phil Towns of the world, and the Warren Buffetts, and the Charlie Mungers, and the Guy Spears, and many, many, many more guru investors that are out there. So it does make the process a lot easier for us when we have someone to help guide us along the way.
Why do you think that you, so early on, were willing to come up with this idea of paying up for great businesses?
Well, because it's so obvious, and I'm good at doing things that are obvious. Of course, it was obvious if you wanted to have a particularly good result, you got to do a great company, Recognize that greatness was good, Big deal. Charlie Munger, genius, recognizes greatness is good. Of course, greatness is good. And then second, we want a great manager. But we have not made a huge success by investing on great managers who take over lousy businesses. That is not the way we rose.
Matt McAllister writes,
if you're a lousy manager, you really need a great business.
And can a great business be run by a lousy manager? The inverse?
Coca-Cola was run for years by a man with very severe mental impairment. And the directors just assumed he was drunk and let him stay there year after year. Now that's my idea of a wonderful business, that you can be mentally defective and run it pretty well. That was Coca-Cola in its heyday. And the trouble with it is you will find when you get into those good businesses, places picked over and analyzed as American stocks are. You can imagine the amount of time spent thinking about American stocks. You will find, by and large in America, if it's really a great business, it's at least 25 times earnings and maybe 30 or 35 or something. So that makes it much harder, of course, because if something goes wrong, you can lose a lot of your investment. And of course, that's what makes investment so difficult, is the fact that the good businesses don't stay cheap. You got to somehow recognize a good business before it's recognizable as a good business. That's very hard to do.
So Charlie Munger, as an investor, keeps things simple. We want to find wonderful businesses that are simple to understand, that have some sort of competitive advantage, and they have somebody in charge that's protecting them. Very simple things. And so if you can follow Charlie's guidelines, you can apply that to any company going forward. We want to find businesses that have a durable competitive advantage. And we want to find those businesses before they become so successful and so wonderful that everybody recognizes them and we don't have a chance to buy into that business when it's on sale, when it's at a fair price. What Charlie's trying to get us to focus on is finding that business that has the competitive advantage. One of the best things that I've heard come from Charlie and Warren is that it's far better to invest in a wonderful company at a fair price versus a fair company at a wonderful price. And so Charlie's telling us, hey, focus on the wonderful companies and get them before they become massive companies, right? We've got to get them when they're on sale. We define a durable intrinsic competitive advantage as a moat. We simply call it a moat. When we're trying to identify the moat of a business, we are looking at data points and we're looking for consistency when it comes to those data points. So we can see that that business has been able to grow, for example, their sales per share consistently over the last 10 years, or their earnings per share consistently over the last 10 years, then that's going to give us some real insight into whether or not that company does have a moat. As I was getting started with Rule 1 and learning this process, it was all coming together. It worked very, very well. But I found there was something that was missing for me, and what was missing was the application. The first one that really stands out to me is when I found Starbucks on a daddy-daughter date with my daughter. And so it dawned on me after several daddy-daughter dates and waiting in line at Starbucks that there's something that kept us coming back to this place. And from there, we started asking questions, started talking to people, and we realized this thing that was a part of our life for every daddy-daughter date, every family road trip, every time we went out on the weekend was not just an experience, but an opportunity for us to dig deeper into this company. So when we had that moment at the mall, went home, my daughter went to hang out with her friends, and I went straight to my computer and I started researching Starbucks. How has this company been doing? How have they been growing? Are they making money? And what's this company worth and what do I want to pay for it? Finding a great company is about doing the research and understanding there's something that protects that company from competition. It's about that moat. So finding a company with a moat, that part is one part of the process. In terms of getting it before everybody else does, we may get it before they do, we may not. But the bottom line is we only invest in that company when the shares are on sale. If other people are buying in before us, that is fine. We don't base our decision on what they're doing. We base our decision on our work and what we're doing. So whenever the company goes on sale, that's when we start to invest in the company.